Through my adversity, I gain strength. Depression is actually an opportunity. Why me? Why is happening to me? It took a while to learn that we're going to go through hard stuff. This is life. It's always going to happen. What can I learn from this? Where's the beauty in this dark situation?
Farhad Khan is an internationally recognized sound healing practitioner, meditation, and yoga teacher with over 10,000 hours of training.
We're all self-healers. We really are, through our thoughts. And that's why we have these practices.
Right.
Being in nature, yoga, sound bath, meditation, community.
Yeah, there's a steadiness to the heart. The practices give us a steadiness to the waves. Mm-hmm. You had some kind of mindset that you connected to. I'm wondering, what was that? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pause to Elevate with Dr. Al-Mashat. I am so honored to share today's conversation with Farhad Khan. He's an internationally recognized sound healing practitioner, meditation, and yoga teacher with over 10,000 hours of training. His journey is one of resilience and transformation, showing us how tragedy can become a gateway to healing and reminding us of what is truly possible through sound, yoga, and mindful practices. By the way, I had a chance to experience one of his sound healing sessions, and it was absolutely amazing. I'll be speaking about that as well. But first, a warm welcome to you, Farhad, to the Pause to Elevate podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And, there's so many things that I'd love to ask you about your journey and your experience. You really have a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. So let's begin with, where did this journey to healing and transformation begin? What led you to this path of healing?
Yes, so I'd say when I was quite younger, in my early 20s, I was going through some depression, anxiety, a bit lost, if you will, at that younger stage in life, having gone through some dysfunctional family situations growing up and getting a bit older, growing into that. I was starting to feel a lot of things that were affecting my day-to-day life. And so I didn't really know where to go. I was pretty lost, actually. And then one of my best friends said to try yoga. Mm-hmm. And I had never done yoga. This was back in 2001. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, at this point in my life, I'm willing to do anything. I'm trying to find something. I was very open. Yeah, especially from the friend it came from. She was like a family to me. So a deep trust and a love and a care. And, for her to say, try yoga, I was, grateful that there was maybe something that could help me. And I was curious. And so I did my first yoga class and went by myself to the class. In those days, I never usually did something new alone. I would take a friend or someone with me, but I went by myself.
That takes courage.
Yeah, it did, actually. Yeah. I remember the day very clearly. It was like an afternoon class. And I did the class, went into my car, and I started crying, like uncontrollably, just crying. And it wasn't a sad cry. It was almost like a joy. Like I had found something. I was moved by something. Yeah. And so it was a very powerful moment for me because I had felt a healing moment, if you will. I didn't maybe know it at that time, but I knew that it felt good. I had found a community, I had found something, and I was very much in the present moment and in my body, which I now know today from that moment. It kept me very present in the moment in my body. And it allowed me to focus on what I need to focus on in that moment rather than all the thoughts in my head from all the stuff I'd been through. And so I think that allowed me to realize, okay, there is something here that I can feel stronger with in the moment and empowered. And it wasn't all the noise in my mind. It was a practice. It was a teacher's words. It was hard work because it was a hard yoga class too. And so it was cool because it was like challenging me to get outside of myself and put myself in these
Mm.
shapes of my body. So I was very emotional, and I was feeling overwhelmed with joy of, wow, okay, this is something. And so I stuck
Wow.
to the practice ever since then. That moment, I made it part of my life that, okay, I'm going to do this. This is helping. And I just continued with the practice for several years. And I realized in 2006, I wanted to make this my life. Like, I wanted to make yoga like my full time
Mm.
job, my life, my practice, not work in like the 9 to 5 that I was working in,
Mm.
because I felt like it was almost like soul sucking or something like that. Like, it
Right.
wasn't my purpose. I felt I was just working some mundane job to pay the bills. It
Mm.
wasn't giving me this feeling of I'm making a difference, I'm helping myself and others. It was very unfulfilling. And so in 2006, I did my first yoga teacher training,
Mm. So only really a couple
and
of years after, so you're really
I was into it.
you're totally
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
Yes, I was very much into it, and I
Mm.
wanted to dedicate my life to it and learn more about like what's actually happening here. What's the philosophy behind this? The anatomy, like so many parts. And I think I entered it
Mm.
into more of a spiritual world when I first started the practice. It was hitting me on a spiritual level. Like, I was feeling something. I didn't really
Mm.
understand much of that, maybe the science of what was
Right.
happening in my body, my nervous system.
So it wasn't a
The
cognitive thing. It
No, it
was
wasn't to get like fit
you're right,
and
it's like yeah, yeah. Not a
exercise.
goal-oriented, like, cognitive, but your body experienced something. It seems like
Yeah.
you were kinda yearning for like, no one would have been able to explain that. Like, if someone
Hmm.
has not tried yoga or meditation, it's like, it's very hard to go, like "What is that?" And but when you give it a chance like you did,
Hmm.
you felt something that no one would have been able to tell you. You're gonna get this when you did it,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
discovered something on a body level that really seems to have impacted you on that first class, where you
Hmm.
tasted something you hadn't. You felt something.
Yeah. I definitely felt something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
A deep emotional shift. Something was broken open, if you will. And, I was able to process things that I didn't really know that what were they exactly were to be processed. I was
Mm,
crying, and that's a way of processing and releasing.
right.
So yeah, so then 2006, I did my teacher training, 200 hour.
Mm,
And then through that journey of the teacher training, I learned so much. I found a community even deeper. I learned more about the practice, philosophy, anatomy.
mm,
And then through that training, I was like, I want to make this my full time life
right.
job, everything. Like, this is it for me. And I then opened up a yoga and wellness studio in 2007, shortly
Mm,
after I graduated.
amazing.
Yeah, and it was crazy because the economy at that time wasn't great. Everyone was telling me you're crazy to open up a business, start it from scratch. Like, I didn't have a following at all. Like, no one really knew me as a yoga teacher. But I just thought, you know what? If I build it, they will come.
What a dedication. Like that's true belief in something. Like that
Hmm.
deep purpose and passion. Like
Hmm.
and I don't think anyone can really do it the way you did unless you truly believe in it. Like this wasn't like from a business. Like this is a good business. It's more like I love this. I can serve people. Like that's amazing. Like that's
Thank you.
purity of heart. Truly.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked at it like, it's something I really was passionate about and I loved, and I knew it was something that really helped me, and I knew like this can help other people.
Yeah.
People just need to be exposed, and I realized I want to try this, and if it fails, okay. But I know that if I don't try this, I'll always wonder, I'll always wonder.
Um,
So I was like, I'm just going to do this and give it all I got, because it's all I want to offer at this time in my life. I want to share what I've learned with others and continue to make it part of my lifestyle every day. So it's like a
mm.
win-win, right? I get to practice every day, I get to share it. What better sense of a lifestyle for me? I thought, that was a wonderful way to be in this world.
Right. But
So
that requires
mhm.
like really overcoming like a lot of obstacles that stops many of us from even trying. Like, how's it gonna
Fear,
work? Fear. Like it's like you haven't
finances,
run a yoga
everything.
studio before, you just finished the training, but like you went both feet in with
I
trust.
did.
That's actually quite an amazing quality or mindset for
Thank
success.
you.
Like do something that you love, you believe in,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the courage to step into the fear. Like
Yeah.
that's facing fear to go, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's go.
You know what? And that's one of my tattoos. Through my adversity, I gain strength. And that's been kind of like my mantra, and so just do it. And, even if it doesn't work, it wasn't a failure. It just takes you on a different path down this way now. Okay, I'll try this. This didn't work. I'll try this.
Mm,
But if you're passionate about it and it's something you're really being called to do, really listening to that intuition. But
mm,
again, the yoga practice allowed me to kind
right.
of clear the fog and see more clearly to what that
Mm,
purpose was within me, the intuition that was speaking to me. And I could listen more clearly. And that's what also helped lead me was through the practice again. Hmm.
mhm. And, you know,
Yeah.
as a treat for those, some of the listeners are in the area that we're both in, which is in the Lower Mainland, the Vancouver area.
Hmm.
You actually in the North Shore, the studio is my yoga, and it's so interesting. It's such a like for the longest time, it was like 17 years or so, I think. Was it? You had
Yeah. Yeah. It's 18, I think.
18,
Yeah.
18 is like such a well-known studio. And without me knowing you actually, just before I opened my own center, so this was
Hmm.
I think 2015 or something like that. I was looking to rent like a place for the mindfulness programs I was teaching, and the timing didn't work out. But I actually came to my yoga, and I don't think I met you. I met someone else, but I don't know who it was. But I was like, okay, what are the hours and what's possible? And I was like, wow, this is a nice place. And then
So
our
nice.
paths didn't cross again till like recently.
I love it. I love it.
So it's quite amazing. It's a
So cool.
like very well respected studio that you had, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
beautiful. And actually, through that space, after years of teaching and building the studio community, it was about around 2009 I was introduced to sound healing. Actually,
Mm,
that's when sound healing kind of entered into my world, and I was like, "Oh, what's this new thing?" And
mm,
that's when that journey began as well. So a lot of transformations happened within that space for me as well. And I
mm,
continued to study different practices, lineages, styles of yoga, sound healing, meditation, mindfulness. So it was through that space where I got to meet amazing people, learn more about different practices and
mm.
modalities of healing, and just therapies essentially, that people have other tools other than maybe going to a doctor, and going down that path of
Right.
you can have other practices right at your fingertips and really allow for some benefit of healing, peace of
Mm,
mind, calm. Yeah.
mm. It's time for a quick little update. A few months ago, 2.5% of you who are watching this content were subscribed to this channel. I'm so grateful to you. You helped us move it to 20%. However, if we do the math, that still leaves us 80% of you have not subscribed. Please help me change that. Go ahead and press that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the content. I want to ask you about the sound healing, but before we go there, there's something, in your story that teaches so much, which is you didn't have the exact plan, or no one guaranteed you go open a yoga studio, then it's going to lead to this, then it's going to lead to sound healing. Like,
No.
and often we want to know the sequential events before we take a step, but you're an exemplar of how success can happen when you truly just take a step, and as you shared, through adversity you find your strength. Is that right? Is
Hmm.
that and then just keep moving forward. Like, you'll know as you take a step, and then you found sound healing. It wasn't part of a plan, but there it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just
You
want
just
to
never
name it.
know.
You never know.
Yeah,
You can't
you
you can't
never know.
yeah.
You gotta. It's one of the things is I really tried to stay open. I tried
Mm,
to stay open to receive, because I think that there's learning in every moment of our day from other people. I'm always a student to this day. I'm
mm,
a teacher, but I'm always a forever student. So
mm.
I think by having that mentality of being the student, I remain open, um,
Yeah.
and always asking questions, being curious. And I think that can lead to wonderful things, right? Sharing
Mm,
with other people and ideas. um, and so, yeah, like I think, having that leap of faith and just being open, you'll be pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was.
of course,
Yeah.
because you
So,
never know. Like, there's a saying.
yeah.
I don't know who said it, but I keep using it myself. Is, there's you never know what's good around the corner, right? Because
Yeah.
we often say, watch out. You never know what's bad around the corner. But
What's coming up. Yeah.
what's coming up, and it could be like bad things can happen to all of us. But it's like,
And that's life, right? It's
right.
life. And it's just, what do we do with the bad stuff that happened? It's like the
Mm,
darkness. You could say the light and the dark, right? And I've experienced many moments of darkness,
mm,
and I've chosen to make them my strength. There is a teaching and a wisdom in that darkness. Whereas it took me a long time. When I was in my early 20s, I thought,
mm,
why me? I was
right.
depressed and I was going through spiraling, and I was just like, why me? Why is happening to me? Why is
Mm,
this? And so it took a while to learn that, actually, what
mm,
can I learn from this? Where's the beauty in this dark situation? How can I
yeah.
bring light to it? Use it as a gained knowledge or wisdom to move forward with. Carrying it with grace. So through my adversity, I gained strength. Kind of was born out of that, trying to transform my thoughts.
Mm,
And that brings me to my meditation practices as well. So really kind of training my mind of how to reframe things that were happening in my
mm,
life, or things that had happened to me. um, I think that was a big one for sure. And when you can reframe, it's empowering.
mm,
It gave me strength to be open and trust and go with the flow of things. And I think by having that way of living, it brought many things to me that were what I was wanting, which was wonderful. It was,
mm.
going in a good direction. Not to say that there weren't downfalls along the
Of
way,
course not. Yeah, yeah.
but definitely better managed and understood. And it's a choice. It was a strong
Mm,
choice that I took in all those moments then, to reframe it to help benefit me. Hmm.
mm. Something I'm often really inspired by is when there's transformation, and your journey really is about transformation. It's very different than trying to be positive, which sometimes, it happens a lot out there. It's like, oh, just be positive, just think positive, and
Right.
but that's kind of, covering up the pain, the sorrow, the sadness, the anxiety, the hurt. It's just covering
Hmm.
it, but
Hmm.
it's actually not working with it. And there's something about your journey, about you worked with it. You held space
Mm.
for the grief, for the loss, for the pain, for the sadness. I wonder if you can say more about that, like the transformation versus, oh, just be positive, because your story is
Yeah.
transformation, and I really want to highlight that. So, can you say more about that?
Yeah. I think, you said it beautifully as
Mm,
well.
mm,
I think, a lot of people talk about shadow work today. You hear shadow work is usually a phrase that's used, and doing your shadow work. So, like I mentioned, the darkness.
mhm.
So, yeah, you're right when you say, like, just be positive, think positive. That can come in moments of our life for sure. I
You're
think
right.
there's a time and place for that, right? And you want to kind of have that. But I think that there's a lot of, like I said, like lessons and teachings and wisdoms in the darkness. This is
Mm,
life. Like we're always going to experience hardship, loss, grief.
mm,
um, Things don't always go how we planned, but that could also be like a blessing in disguise, a teaching, a lesson. It takes us, like I said, I'm like, I'm just going to do this, open up this studio, even though everyone's telling me economy's bad. How are you going to do this? How are you going to afford it? Like, this is a mistake. And actually, when I opened up, just to jump back, when I opened up my studio, the first 3 months I had like barely anyone come to my classes. I was
Oh,
teaching 16 classes a day,
oh,
um, and I was exhausted. But I just did it. But I was like, I can just practice every day and keep practicing. And then after about 3 months, people started coming, and the word of
wow.
mouth. And then I was packed. The classes were full, and it was all word of mouth. And that trust again, that belief, and just you know, I could have just looked at it and thought, "You're right. No, I'm not going to do it." You know, and never would have been here today.
Mm,
But I chose to just be open and trust and use all the hardships or darkness I've gone through to empower me to be more relatable to other
right.
people. I think that having anxiety, depression,
Mm,
um, I think that because I've experienced it at such a deep, real level
mm,
for so long, that I have gained a knowledge to connect with people on that level deeper and understand what it feels like to go through that.
mm,
And so I think that that was a big one for sure, is going through it, and then how to work with it, because it still lives in me. It's part of me. It's not as
mm,
powerful or has a hold on me as it did many years ago.
mm.
Um, but I know that it's a path I'm going to walk alongside. It's like my friend,
Right, right. Yes,
becoming friend,
totally.
understanding the
Yeah.
depression and anxiety. Like I now, when I sometimes talk about depression, I often would say depression is actually an opportunity.
Mm,
It can be an opportunity, like to really, like, you're at a low point. Let's
mm,
look at this. Let's what's going on here for me, and
mm.
like let's feel into this, understand it better. Um, but that's just me, right? Like I
Right.
feel like I want to stay more in the positive mind or neutral
Mm.
mind, and recognize a negative mind is always going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yes.
that inner voice, that it's always been there, and I know it's going to be there probably forever for me. But just
Yeah.
how do what relationship do I have with that part of myself?
Mm,
What tools do I have to allow it to be, but not allow it to like completely consume me?
mm.
um, and teaching myself daily of my practices and how to navigate with that negative mind, which we all have.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
so appreciate how you're sharing this because that's one of the things that I find continually supportive for me with mindfulness is just getting to know, like, this is what's
Hmm.
here right now. This is what's present. How can I be with it? And that had really changed my understanding of like fixing. It's like it's not about me. I have to fix this things. It's like how can I come to terms with it? Can I heal around it? Like
The relationship.
what is a relationship? Yeah, I can't
Mhm.
fix grief or sorrow. It's like, but how can I be with it?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
how you're describing is exactly that. Like this coming to terms and living well, soaring a life with all of it. Not because you didn't have the pain, not because
Hmm.
you have zero pain now.
Hmm.
It's because you keep working with it. It's really
It is a
yeah,
daily practice, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Mm,
think in the line of work that we do, being able to work with other people who are going through something and helping them in a way by giving them advice or tools, it's actually also helping me
mm,
still and reminding me still. So that was, when I spoke of the win-win of having a yoga studio around the space where I got to practice every
mm,
day but teach every day, it was like what a win-win lifestyle. I get to make it my life and also share it with others.
yeah.
And I love that. It's just such a nice way of being in this society,
Yes.
just like do what you love what you do, and be able to share it. And so yeah. Hmm.
Very it feels very aligned to who you are, how, like it's really aligned to you. This is what you created. I want to go back to that moment though, because I think there's so much to learn there. How can someone know? Like, how did you know that I just got to hold steady? When you started the studio, not a lot of people were showing up at first, and then it got packed.
Hmm.
But there's a period when someone may think, just abort ship. This is not going to work.
Hmm.
And so, how did you know this is not time to abort? I gotta stick to it. Like, because I can imagine anyone. Like, I would be thinking, like, maybe this was a bad idea. I gotta get out
Yeah.
now. Right.
Yeah.
But like, how did you know, like, stick this through? Like, you had some kind of
Mm.
mindset that you connected to.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what was that? How did you know?
Yeah, I think it's a um, several different things. One was definitely the practice. I really believed
Mm,
in what it gave me, the practice.
mm,
It was so real and honest and beautiful and hard. Um, it was like reminding me that being on the mat is like being in society, living in this human experience, what we go
mm,
through on the mat. And I really believed in that philosophy of, you know, you could sweat it out on the mat, you could get it out after a
mm,
hard day, get out of your head and all the thoughts and just be in the moment and be in these postures and breathe and the
mm,
inspiring words of a teacher, the music playing, like that whole ambiance of what I'm here to do for this hour or 2 hours, whatever class time it was. It was just a moment of just like being present. And that was literally
mm.
medicine for me. Like
Wow.
it was a medicine that I really needed for myself, or I would not be alive. So, in regard to the business, when I first opened it, it was such a like a I was being guided to do that through like
Mm.
some beautiful spiritual energy. I can't explain that part, but it was like something was just guiding me. Like it was yeses, yes, yes,
Mm.
yes, yes, all the way, and everything was just manifesting in front of me. So I'm like, okay, if I get a roadblock, then I will feel like a no resistance. But it was all just
Ah,
flowing beautifully to make it happen. As much as the outside world of people around me were like, no, this
right.
you know, how are you going to do this? This is not, you know, but I just was like, there's something, a voice in me. I'm being guided that this is what needs to happen. This is
Mm.
what I'm meant to do. And so I listened to that voice. I What else do I have to lose was another thought that came. It was like, what else do I have to lose? I want to try this and see
Mm.
it through because it'll either work or it will not. And if it doesn't, at least I know I tried it.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to live my life always wondering what could have been, especially when I was so passionate about something and I felt such a strong urge to manifest or make it happen for my life and myself. After all the
Right.
negativity I'd been through in my life growing up, I was
Mm.
like, this is something beautiful and positive, and it's impacted me on such a deep, personal, visceral level
Mm.
that I really want to continue and share it because I know there's other people that are going through what I'm going through.
Mm.
I've seen it, I saw it, and I was like, if I can just share this with people, I think that there might be some hope to, you
Yes.
know, help people as well going through what I'm going through, building a community of like safety and
Mm.
we can cry here, we can laugh, we can heal
Right.
here, we can be quiet here. Yeah, it was really about that.
Mm.
That is what kept me going. But there is that flip side, as you're mentioning. There was a bit of how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to make this
Right.
work? The reality of owning a business, but also a spiritual kind of practice, and like, whoa, like how do I juggle this? But I think the belief and the spiritual and the trust was far greater, and then the success that came from it, and success meaning like spiritual success,
Mm.
um, was so much more fulfilling. And I realized I'm just going to make it work and keep going. And it kept working
Right.
with that mindset. So it kept working and growing and building. And I was like, okay, this is
Mm.
good, you know? And it was slow, but it was enough for me to keep going. And it was absolutely a beautiful time and chapter. And I'm so proud that I was able to do that and listen to that part of myself, as clouded as I was. But the yoga helped me get very clear, I think, or more clear to be able
Mm.
to see that and continue that. And so, you know, I'm forever grateful for that in the practice. Yeah.
Mm. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to quickly thank you for stopping by and watching this content. It truly means the world to me that you're interested in creating positive change. I also want to invite you to join our amazing community. I have free events online about mindfulness, mindfulness based stress reduction, laughter, as well as retreats that you can do from the comfort of your own home. And are you ready for this? Self paced program that you can do about mindfulness and stress reduction. So you can join the newsletter below to stay up to date on all these goodies. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and press that button. It really helps me to keep this content going and reach out to more guests. Thank you so much again, and may you continue enjoying watching this episode. What amazing, it began with here you are young at a 20, I think you said it was in 19, your first yoga class. Was it 20?
Uh, well, when I opened my studio, I was probably 26, 27,
26.
26, 26, 26.
26.
Yeah, around there probably.
But
So
but
that's
your
when I
first
opened the
your
studio.
yeah, but your
That's right.
first yoga class, and
That's
it's like
right.
you experience something on a body level, and sometimes I do a lot of as well one-on-one work on top of mindfulness, group work, and stress reduction
Mm,
programs. But one of the things that comes up is people sometimes underestimate how memories are kept in the body. And it's
yeah.
not just what we speak about in here or think about here, but memories can get released in the body through
Hmm.
movement, through meditation. People get surprised. And, even a lot of registered massage therapists speak about that. It's, they're just doing a massage and someone starts tearing up, like something
Yeah.
gets released. So there's something quite interesting and powerful about these traditions that go thousands of years. It's like there's
Absolutely.
some wisdom beyond our current, like, prove the science to me. And now the science is catching up finally. but
Yeah. No,
but
absolutely. There's
but
so much science about it
oh
now. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And you know
yeah.
what? It's funny you're saying that because in that first yoga class, I remember we did a yoga pose called wheel or
Mhm,
bridge, full wheel or full bridge,
mhm,
where it's a big back bend and you're opening up your heart, your chest.
mhm.
And I remember that was the moment that I felt like the most like, whoa,
Wow.
because my heart, I guess, was so open. Now I know, like my heart was so open. And then I went to the car and started crying because it had opened something that I had been
Wow.
holding and protecting here, um, you know, for so long. And it could be like walking like this or walking a little bit more protected, but
Yeah.
just be like open in that moment and just really opening this part of my body. It had obviously released something in me,
Mm,
spiritually, physically, in the nervous system, whatever we want to connect to.
right.
And that was a moment I started to break open. I cried, right? It was like
Mm,
crying, but of like, wow, I found something.
yeah.
And so, yes, it was
Yeah.
very powerful, and I'm so happy the science is definitely caught up with these practices because when you move your body in these ways, when you chant, singing,
Yeah.
all these things, breath work. It's like it's actually removing things, allowing things to
Mhm.
flush, process things. Um, it's doing something on a very deep level within our
Yeah.
systems. Hmm.
Yeah. There's interesting work by Vanderkolk about trauma work. Body keeps a score, right? The body keeps a
Mm.
score, a memory. It keeps a score, and there's something that's getting released. And what's so interesting about your experience is you went not knowing what's going to happen. It's not like you went for a formula. I'm going to do this posture so I can relieve this pain, or I'm going to open my heart with it. It's just like you flowed, and your body knew what to do. Like
Yeah.
this is wisdom of the body. Like there's so much wisdom in
Oh,
it, and we all do,
absolutely.
but trusting
Hmm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and listening. The body's speaking to us all the time, but are we listening? Are we listening to what the body's telling us? The wisdom of the body. Absolutely. Yeah.
We ignore that often. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's just so busy, our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
There's so much we gotta do, the to-do list,
And now I
and
got
when
to
we
listen
can
to my
just
body on top of it.
slow down, quiet, and so much comes from that. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Part of slowing
Mhm.
down. Well, you were sharing earlier as well how sound healing just kind of appeared in your journey and you got pulled into it. So, can you share a little bit about What is sound healing?
Well, it's many things to a lot of
Mm,
people. It's how we interpret it, but keeping it very simple. I think sound healing is definitely rooted in the same science as meditation and mindfulness
mm,
practices. I really believe it's rooted in the same world as that.
mm,
And science has taught us today different frequencies when they're emitted affect us on a cell level. It's working on the nervous system. Like it can affect us in our bodies and our
mm,
minds, right? Frequencies, different ones, right?
mhm.
And sound healing is not only just heard through the ears, but it's felt through the body.
Ah.
You feel it. It's a whole body listening sound experience, if you will.
Mm,
um, kind of like if you're sitting near like a speaker, like an
mhm,
audio speaker.
mhm.
You can hear the sound, but if it's like you're really close to it, it's a big speaker, you can actually feel the vibration as well,
Right.
right? So it's kind of like that idea and concept. um,
So hearing through the whole body, not just through the ears.
that's right.
Right.
Yeah. you
Listening through
know
the whole body. Yeah.
Yeah, and different frequencies, have been shown to reduce blood pressure,
Mm,
cortisol level balancing, helps with anxiety, depression, um, just help calming the mind as well.
mm,
It's, a beautiful way to, use something other than, I guess, if you will, medication,
right.
like pills. Sometimes you can use vibrational frequencies to help with different things in the body, the mind. Um, Not to say that, it's coming to that for that purpose necessarily. Like sometimes it's just
Mm,
like listening to beautiful sounds and music, and it can just
mm,
take you away and relax you. It
mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be about healing something, although that is very much happening
Right.
with certain frequencies, absolutely. But having a sound healing experience is unique to the person.
Mm,
And I love that it can, like, just like yoga, like I mentioned, I came to it for a more spiritual kind of feeling rather than a more physical
mm,
strengthening, workout where some people do.
right.
So with sound, I think it's very similar. Is some people want to come for a sound healing experience through vibration and frequencies. And some people maybe just want to come and lay down, relax, and fall asleep. It happens often in a sound healing session, and just to hear some beautiful sounds, get away from their day to day in a moment,
Mm,
and find some therapeutic relaxation, some somatic release, if you will. Um, so yeah, I think, to come back to your question, what is
mhm,
sound healing? I think it's so many things,
mm,
um, depending on the day, the person, your mood, who you're working with. Are you going to a sound bath where there's a group of people? Are you going to a
mm,
private sound bath where it's just one on one? It's helped with people going through grief as
mm,
well. It's helped me going through grief.
mm,
So yeah, I think that's.
mm.
Hope that answers your question.
Yes, and having experienced it, and really was such an amazing
Yes.
experience. This private session of sound healing, it was just amazing. So I'm going to share about my experience as well. But for someone who is curious, okay, so there's a sound bath as a group, so and there's private one-on-one, like what does
Mhm.
that look like? Someone who's never, like, how long is a typical session? What actually happens there? And
Yeah.
it's amazing what happened for me. But yeah, what happens in there?
I mean, so speaking of a sound bath
Yeah.
meditation that I do more with bigger groups of people, I do a lot of events in the city
Mm,
at different venues. And so I have the gongs, the crystal bowls, chimes, tuning forks, like so many sound instruments.
mm. And what do you
People
have
can,
behind you for those who can see? If someone
if
is
you can see,
watching,
well, I have a gong here.
gong. If, yeah, and if you're listening, he's pointing to a gong behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Um,
We can hear it.
you can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have chimes. I have crystal bowls and other healing tools that I
Mm,
use. So essentially, people can come and they can sit, they can lie down. It's often best lying down, I
mhm,
find, and maybe, an eye mask. And I usually walk people through some intention setting. I think a lot of sound is also your intention, like what brought you
mm,
here, gratitude, connecting to something
right.
personal is always lovely to start because it just softens us into like the moment and reflection.
Mm,
And then I will guide them through some gentle breath work. So again,
mm,
coming into your present body, relaxing more into the parasympathetic nervous system,
mhm,
the
mhm,
calming state. And then, I might offer a mantra or chanting, some beautiful ones to keep everyone in community, and it's beautiful to sing
mm,
together. And then I just take them through a journey through sound. I just play different sounds and you lie down and receive,
mm,
just fall asleep, if you will.
mhm.
Whatever
I
happens,
did a little
happens.
bit too.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I did
people
a little.
need that
Yeah, yeah.
container of like, oh, I could just relax. And
Yeah,
sometimes,
letting go.
obviously falling asleep is, when you're relaxed, right, in that state, it's
Mm,
beautiful. And if you've been working a lot, go, go, go. I think you
mhm.
just did a marathon or
Yeah,
something
yeah, I just finished. Yeah,
a
about
few days
2 days
before.
before I did a half marathon. It was a trail run.
Yeah.
It was long, and
So
it was
that body, right, the cellular rest and the
yeah.
body resting, the mind able to like, okay, like it's conscious relaxation.
Mm,
And what that does to our system is so healing and beautiful, right, for us. Like I believe we're all self-healers. We really are, through our thoughts, our practices, and what we put in our bodies, things like that. So we can self-heal. And coming to a sound bath, in my opinion, is so
mm,
much like self-care,
yeah.
nurturing yourself, giving yourself that time to just slow down, connect to yourself, and then you can go out into the world and be there for your family, your partner, your loved ones, friends, and community
Right.
that much greater, and show up for them. But it starts here, really, right? So,
Mm,
um, so I do that in like group settings, and I do it in private, one-on-one, which is what you got to experience, where
mhm,
you'll come and just lay on a treatment massage table.
mhm.
Um,
It looked like a
I'll do
massage table, like a typical massage, but you had
I
extra stuff
do,
on it. Yeah,
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 so I do body work as well. I
yeah.
do like Thai stretching, Thai yoga stretching, oil
Mm,
massage. I offer those because I believe that moving energy in the body is part of it. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Um, so I also do Reiki and some bioenergy work, which is hands on or hands off, just moving
Mm,
energy, balancing energies. And then I work with, tuning forks on the body. So you'll feel
mm.
this vibration frequency on different ren lines on the body, like acupuncture points, very similar in
Mhm.
the
That felt
Chinese
amazing,
medicine.
by the way.
Yeah, and we just did a tiny little bit of that. So sometimes people
Mm.
come just for a full session on tuning forks.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll do like, crystal bowls, gong, different elements. Sometimes the bowl's on the body. So you
Mm,
might feel a bowl on your body and feel a deeper resonance of the vibration. Um, you're laying on a biomat and a bioacoustic mat, which I have on the table, which is infrared heat that's heated up with tourmaline and amethyst
mm,
crystals. Really good for circulation and inflammation in the body.
mhm,
The bioacoustic mat, it's vibrating, giving you a gentle cellular massage. So it's attuned to certain frequencies. So I think with you, we used relaxation. So it induces relaxation in the
yeah.
cells. You can do stress relief, energize, sleep, whatever's needed. So I can customize the privates more intimately to what that person's specific needs are, rather than in a larger group setting where I'm just playing for
Mm,
the whole group of a community intention, which I
right.
really believe affects the session too. I think everyone that's there is a vibratory being, or they're part of what's going to come through in that moment of the
Mm,
sound bath experience. And I often say that, everyone is there together as a community.
mm.
We are all part of this sound vibration. The sound vibration's already begun before I've played anything, because
As
of all
people
of
walk
our,
in and talk,
yeah, all of
yeah,
our energies.
yeah.
Exactly. We're building a container together. and then we all set an intention together. And I
Mm,
think that really sets up the sound bath for the whole and individual as well. So it's a
mm,
beautiful thing to experience if no one's ever tried it. I welcome people,
yeah,
just come with an open mind, open heart, check it out, and know that each time you come will be it'll be different. You know,
right.
some of them amazing, some maybe not so amazing. Some of them something came up, something you fell asleep. You know,
Right, just being
um,
open to
just being
experience. That's
open.
amazing. Yeah. You know,
Yeah, everyone's welcome. Everyone's
yeah.
welcome. Yeah.
I want to share something funny that happened to me after that session with you. But if you can say a little bit about the group, and I know you have events as well in the city for anyone interested. Actually, if you're not in the city, you may want to consider coming to it. So I
Yeah.
mean, you've had multiple sold out shows, multiple. And I know there's, depending on someone is listening to this, there's always something happening. But can you say about what's happening in science world, or
Yeah, yeah.
space
The planet,
space center? Yeah.
the H.R. McMillan Center, the Space Dome. It's also
Yes.
known as, I call it the planetarium, but it's not the proper name. It's H.R. McMillan Space Center, and that's
Yes.
in Vancouver. So it's funny because whenever I do my sound baths, it's always in like a studio or venue, a
Mm,
church, and everyone's on a yoga mat or sitting, and it's just like that's it. And I'm just playing my music and sound tools and meditation. And I do bring some lights sometimes, often, and I'll
mm.
create like an ambiance of being in the cosmos, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's said that when the gongs are played, it's like that's the sound of the cosmos or
Beautiful.
deep, deep ocean sound. So I like to kind of mimic that environment when I'm playing. I actually had a dream just over a year ago, and the dream was that I did a sound bath in the H.R. McMillan Planetarium Dome Center. And the cool thing about that
Oh, wow.
is,
This is before
y-
going there and doing it. You mean like you had a dream that inspired you to actually?
yes, the last time
Wow.
I had been there, I was a kid. I was in kindergarten or grade one
Oh,
or
what?
something. We went on a school field trip, and we went to go see this Christmas show of lights on. So it's basically like a dome, like a big dome, and it's all a screen all around you, 360. And basically, you see these beautiful visuals of like planets and stuff. And that's what we went as a kid
Wow.
on field trip.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so it's funny how this dream just came up for me. So I had a dream that I did a sound bath at the planetarium. So I'm like, I'm gonna contact them. So I contacted them. They love the concept. It had never been done there. And they were just like, this sounds amazing. So I have curated a show where, it's 230 seats,
Mm.
and, you're going through the cosmos. You're starting at Earth, and then you fly out to the moon and all the planets and go into the vast
Oh,
universe.
wow.
And while that's happening on the screen, I'm doing a live meditation, guided meditation through the cosmos. I'm playing the crystal bowls, the different elements of sound, the
Mm.
gong. So it's like a sound bath. I have a live vocalist, Narinjan Kaur, who is amazing singer. She's a wonderful singer. I love her very much. Great friend of mine, and we've now co-written 4 songs together,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
we perform those songs on stage. And it just goes with the cosmos and the sound, and everything is just integrated beautifully. So it's a 90-minute show, and I love it in its uniqueness because for the first time, everyone is in a seat. No one's lying down
Mm.
because I wanted to actually make it more inclusive, more inviting to people who maybe don't want to go
Yeah.
and don't have a yoga mat,
Yeah, or
don't want
not
to lie
able to
down.
lie down. Some people
There you go.
physically,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
they don't have a yoga mat. It's like, that yoga kind of concept of
Yeah,
yoga and sound bath. And, and there's a big group of people that just don't do that,
right.
and I'm like, how can I bring more people in to experience a sound bath, but not make it, so I guess for some people think woo woo,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bit out there. I know there's a lot of science out there, but there's still people who don't fully know or understand what that is and what it is to
Mm.
come to a sound bath. And so this is a way of bringing our community and other people who are curious about it, or like, okay, there's visuals too, and I'm in a chair, a comfortable seat,
Right, something
I'm watching.
familiar. chair.
Yeah. Yeah, a chair, it's, it's dark, there's like it's like going to a movie, if you will, because you're
Right.
watching things, you're going on a journey through the cosmos. There's some live singing on stage, so I've incorporated elements that makes it a bit
Mm,
more, there's more layers to it, so it's more of like a show, if you will, but it's also a
right.
sound bath
It's an
meditation.
yeah, and it's experience. It's a full
A
experience. You get
new
sound,
experience. It's a full
visual.
immersive experience,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, so I've had, 5 shows all sold out, which has been
Mm,
amazing, and I have a show coming up this September for the fall equinox. It's themed around that, and then the next one is December 21st for winter solstice.
mm.
So, yeah, it's gonna be great. The show is completely brand new from the other ones I've done, all new visuals. It's gonna be really, really cool. I'm excited to do the September show. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it'll be
That's
good. So
amazing.
yeah, welcome people to come check it out or
Oh,
fly in if you're from out
yeah,
of
fly
town.
in.
It's really cool.
You gotta, yeah, take your space shuttle and come on down, you know? Totally.
Exactly.
Well, and
For
I'll put
real.
all the the links in the show notes of where they can find you and all of that. So we'll put all of that, at the
Thank
end
you.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
great.
When you're describing it, having experienced it myself in terms of being in this sound healing session, I can imagine also there's misconception about it. And what would you say are some misconceptions just to help listeners clear up of what happens or doesn't happen there? Like, I have knee pain. I'm gonna go to the sound healing, and he's gonna fix my knee.
Right.
Right, like that's a
Yeah,
misconception. Like it's not about like this magic cure or something. So
exactly.
what kind of misconceptions do you hear about just to
Yeah, I mean,
help
I
people?
appreciate the question. I love this because,
Mm,
sound healer is often said, you know, and that can hold a little bit of like, oh, I'm going to be healed by a sound healing person. Like, I'm a sound healing practitioner. Um, I don't want people to think that they can come to a sound bath or a private and be healed from something, right?
mm,
I think a lot of it is intention. What's your intention for coming?
yeah,
And I think that in itself, like I said, we're all self healers. So coming for that intentional reason of I'm coming to find some
mm,
peace of mind. I'm coming to cultivate more joy in my life. Beautiful.
right.
What a great intention. Let's work with that. And now I'm going to layer it with some healing frequencies. Healing meaning like,
Mm,
we know today that there are frequencies out there that are for healing our cognitive brain, our nervous system,
mhm,
help us study and focus, help us sleep. So sleep is so important. It is literally a part of our healing medicine daily.
yeah.
And if someone's sleep is impacted, it can really put harm on our nervous system, our
Mm,
mind, our overall daily life. And I work with a lot of people who suffer from insomnia, tinnitus, all different things,
uh,
and there are frequencies that can actually really help with this. And so there is a healing component, absolutely,
mm,
but I wouldn't want to say that to everybody. It's
right.
an individual experience. So I would just say, come with an open mind, heart. Know that
Mm,
there is healing that happens, but it could also just be just coming unplug from your devices,
right.
relax, fall asleep, come listen to some sounds, just be open to an experience. And
Mm,
that's number 1, I think. That's key. Everything else is just a bonus. Like, yeah,
right.
it could cure the knee. I've had people say I felt tingles out of my arm. I used to have a shoulder injury, and things like I've had so many of this feedback
Mhm.
from people coming to me personally, private, through the groups. They're crying, going through grief,
Yeah.
and it's helped them find themselves in a community and find something spiritual to connect to, just like it helped me, the yoga practice.
Right.
I found something, and I look at it like medicine. I do.
Yeah.
That's my experience because it's been like medicine for me in my life's journey so far.
Mm,
So I welcome that, but I also welcome others to know it's not just about healing, coming to be
right.
healed from something. It could just be as simple as I love music. I love the sound of that
Mm,
bowl, the gong. I like coming into a place where there's people in a community of well being, intentional well
mm,
being. As a community, we're breathing together, we're singing
right.
together. And there's some beautiful sounds being played, and I just get to like relax and chill out. Great, you know. So I love that we can speak to that, because
Mm,
there is that misconception out there for a lot of people that think, it's sound healing. I'm going to be healed. I need to be healed. Um,
right.
I love empowering people with that. You are a self healer. We are all self healers.
Yes.
We're all made up similarly, in ways. We're all going through similar things. I have depression, anxiety. I have a bit of
Mm.
ADHD, a little bit of OCD, like a lot. All the
Yes.
things. Like I work with it.
Yeah.
I work with it. I found some cool tools in my
Mhm.
backpack: yoga, chanting, breathing, sound
Mm.
healing, being with my dog, being
Right.
in my backyard or by the ocean, nature. I found tools, and those bring me peace. And if you want
Mm.
healing, self care, nurturing, and I think that's also part of it, right? So, yeah,
Mm.
finding the balance in whatever works for you, and exploring that.
So well said. It's like providing conditions to the body. You're just giving it the right conditions, the right grounds for change to happen. Like you're not making like now I'm gonna heal your this. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what
Exactly.
I think that's a misconception. I'm so glad you cleared because it takes away from actually the beauty that can be experienced. Like it's true beauty, and I really felt that in the session
Nice.
that you offered me, and it was just wow. Like I felt like it was a deep massage on a cellular level, like a massage on the inside of my being. I really felt
Yeah.
that way. Like it really did. It was, and I didn't want it to end. Like when we got to the end, you're like, okay, and now I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
What do you
Keep me
mean?
here a little
No, I
bit
want to keep.
longer.
No, no. Can we let's keep going here?
Yeah.
There's something like my body just let go of. Like I just dropped, and we started.
Mm,
You asked me of the intention, and it's been really surprisingly busy with things and projects, and I just ran a half marathon, and I just had a very simple intention of it, just wanting to reset, recharge,
mm.
find space, create more space in my life. And
Nice.
wow, I dropped into space with you, like
Oh, I'm so
my body.
happy. That means a lot.
It
It's nice.
really did. Like just I felt open, spacious, tuned in, and I had a mini nap in the middle of all of it, right?
Yeah.
Which was so like I don't know where I went. But what
Mm,
was interesting afterwards, I was also so like I'm moving slower. Like it just felt like I just did a deep, deep meditation, like
mm,
quiet. Like I did something really funny. Like I wanted a tea, right? So like a tea bag.
mm.
So I grabbed a tea bag, I put it in my cup, and instead of boiling hot water, putting hot water in the mug that had a tea bag, I went to the faucet, opened cold water of a tea bag.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
as soon as I did it, I was like, wait, what am I doing? Wow, I'm really so mad. Like
That's
I'm
amazing.
so like
Did
so
you did you
I had my
drive when you left?
yeah, yeah, I
Hopefully you didn't
drive. I was
drive.
like, why is everyone going so fast here?
Oh
I
no. You were
was
very
really
relaxed.
I was
Well, I love that. Yeah,
yeah,
just,
yeah.
you just let it all go. You dropped it very quickly into that session.
Mm,
I just even I didn't even have to say
mm,
start your breath work. You were already breathing in such a beautiful,
mm.
conscious, deep, relaxed way. I was like, okay, this is great. So you were ready to receive, which is wonderful.
Thank you so
Half
much.
my work was done.
And you're so those who haven't met you before, you are so incredibly humble and kind, but
Thank you.
actually
That's
really
nice.
also deeply masterful.
Hmm.
That's something, but you're so down to earth, grounded, just easy to connect with, but you have such deep masterful skills and experiences. So I just wanted to name that because
Thank you.
that's part of who you are really, and what you've dedicated your life to. So I just want to name that.
Well, I
um,
think the reason you can name that in me is because you also see it in yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see it in me because you can recognize it because you're that as well. So beautiful. So Thank you to you as well for the
Thank you
work you
so much.
do. And
Truly,
yeah.
deep
Mhm.
gratitude to you. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And so, yeah, denotted me. And
you.
so I'm wondering, and I'll put that link as well if anyone is interested in doing a private session. I'll put the link in the show notes or any of your upcoming events. But
Thank you.
yes, of course. I also want to um, ask you. You've developed a wellness line.
Mhm.
So, what inspired you to develop that wellness line? What is that? And would love to just learn about it.
Yeah, so I have been using good skincare and things
Mm,
on my body from a
mhm,
very early age. I've always loved that. Um, and I find it, again, part of that nurturing self-care,
mm,
putting things on on your body, what you're
mhm,
putting on your body. And so I often in some of my sessions will use scent. Like I'll use like a mist or
mhm,
essential oil, aromatherapy. I just find scent can also take us somewhere,
mhm,
bring us to a place of calm. Different smells do that. They remind us of a time in our life that could be a beautiful memory. And so I often use that in my sessions. So I thought,
mm.
wouldn't it be cool to have something of my own that I could use that I've created
Yeah.
intentionally with healing sound vibrations around the intention of making everything, um, and using it as like a mindfulness
Mm,
meditation practice, if you will, like taking that time in your day every day to maybe put that lotion on your
mm,
body, like in Ayurveda, we use a lot of oil, and this is like an Indian medicine
mhm.
science, Ayurveda,
Yeah.
and we'll use different oils on the scalp and the body, nurturing and doing that for ourselves every
Mm,
day. It's healthy for the skin, the hair. So much is
mm,
happening when we do that. What you're putting on your body. So I love it because it's like taking that time of your day to be really present with this beautiful vessel we've been gifted in this
mm,
incarnation experience. We're in this borrowed elemental body. Taking care of it is important, just like how we feed ourselves, what we put in our thoughts. And so the wellness line is very much curated around that. Things I love to
mm,
put on my body, scents, oils, mist, toners. I've named something after my mom, so it's personal. My
mm.
mom loved roses, so I have a Rashida rose mist, and I love
Oh,
rose.
beautiful.
Rose is really good for like anxiety, depression. So I have a rose mist toner that I will use,
Mm.
and I also named it Rashida Rose, which is my mom's
Yes.
name to honor my mom. And so it's very personal, intentional things I love, and so it's just fun to bring those into some of my private sessions, at some of my events as well. It's just like a
Mm,
little extra layer of another way of people to think, hey, take care of myself, mindfully
mm,
meditate by putting self-care on my body. Even that
mm.
mist is like a mindfulness meditative moment. You're
Yes.
smelling, you're just taking a moment to stop and just feel what's happening in the moment, right? So yeah.
Mm. Remind
So
me of a very interesting book by John Kabat-Zinn, who
mm,
created mindfulness-based stress reduction or MBSR, and it's called
mm,
"Coming to Our Senses." Right.
mm,
So the thing about being with the senses. So you're naming here the sense of smell, and we can
mhm.
use our senses to help us become more present. So what you've
Yeah.
developed, created, and it's so meaningful what you've created because it's something that you use, that you believe in, and it helps just to be with a sense of scent as one of the many senses. You're awakening the sound, but here you
Yeah.
have the scent
And
and
touch, like,
the
right? Like the
touch, all of
touch,
touch. Yes,
self-care touch and scent. Exactly.
right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you used something as well for the session that I did with you. I think there was some scent that I know was so amazing. I don't know what
Yeah.
you used because
I used an oil, an essential oil,
yeah,
and then I also used a mist, like a toner.
that
Yeah.
was amazing because I'm very sensitive to scents and
Mm.
fragrances, and it's like sometimes I get into an elevator or somewhere, it's like wow, I just, huge perfume. It's like it's hard to breathe, but this,
Yes.
yeah, this was amazing. This actually helped me breathe deeper rather than contract. Like a lot of fragrances that I
Yes.
smell, it was just like my my whole body contracts like, "Ugh." But this one, it
Yeah.
just felt like my whole body softened into like, ah,
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
I don't use any fragrance, no synthetics, no
right.
perfumes. It's all natural aromatherapy. Everything's natural. So that was important to me, right? Because it's going on your
Mm,
body. So I definitely thought of that as well. Like I want to put
right.
something good in my body, in my cells, essentially. So I was really
Right.
conscientious of that with the product
Mm,
line as well. And I do know people are sensitive to scent, so I always ask. So I even
yeah.
asked you before. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you okay with scent?" And so I'm glad you were okay with it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
I somehow I actually trusted, because normally I'm like,
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
want any
go.
scent. I was like, no, I think whatever he's gonna, I just trust that he's gonna choose whatever scent that actually is gonna
Yeah,
support me. I really did, because if we go to my cognitive mind, they'll be like, no, I don't want any scent, because
because you maybe had an
I had an
experience or
experience
experience.
where
Well,
everybody's
the
like, no,
elevator or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So that lives in the body, in our
right,
memory. It hasn't been fully processed. So hopefully I reawakened a
yes,
new moment to be like, maybe sometimes scent is okay and good,
right.
being open to that. But there we go. Good. You trusted.
I trust it gave me some healing around scent, because scent can also trigger, like you said, memories, good
Yeah.
memories, but also painful memory, unpleasant memories. For some people,
Hmm.
scents can trigger trauma. I saw this.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And then when it triggers those things, what environment are they being held in to help maybe support processing
Right.
some of that or unlayering some of the trauma slowly,
Mm,
mindfully, somatically feeling it, breathing,
yeah.
so yeah, very, very interesting that you bring that up because it does release a lot of those things as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Which
Mhm.
reminds me as well, you've done a lot of training. It's not like you just decided, woke up one day, it's like, "Ah, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna get a gong and I'm
Yes.
just gonna like, that's it, right. I'm gonna
I
offer.
have.
So for someone who doesn't know, like, oh, actually, this requires training and hours of
Yes, it
training.
does.
So what is? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've done, I want to say at least 12 yoga teacher trainings. You have yoga therapy, yoga therapeutics, somatics, and all different styles of yoga. But I learned something different from each training
Right.
that I did, like the 200 hour, the 300, 500 hour, the 1,000 hour one I did. You learn so many different things, and every teacher's unique and different. So it was really cool to be able to experience different trainings and different teachers,
Mm,
different lineages and
right.
styles. And then the sound as well, working with many different sound practitioner teachers from around the
Mm,
world. I was able to work with different teachers and experience how they play, why they play, and how it affects us on
mm,
different levels of the nervous system, the science, of course, right?
right.
Um, and and today I offer sound healing certification training program. So I do certify people to be sound practitioners. I do a level one, level two sound training. I'm going to launch an online course for that in
Mm,
November, and make it more accessible for people to learn more and understand about sound healing, what I've learned along the way, and share that,
mm,
because I think it's so great, even if you want to do it for what I do or just for yourself, like people you care about, hospice and kids, all different,
right.
elderly, and just offer them some sound healing, playing beautiful music and sounds
Mm,
and nature and bringing it indoor, outdoor, all that kind of stuff. So, um, it's more of, like I said, it's like it is a felt experience as well. So doing the training is really beautiful because you get to like feel in your body how
mm,
it is to receive, but also give that to
right.
others. But learning the techniques and feeling confident to play a bowl and using the mallets
Mm,
and playing the gongs and how do you start, how do you finish, and how to take people on like a little bit of a soundscape journey, if you will. So teaching people that aspect as
mm,
well as the science, and the history behind some of these sound tools. Gongs have been around for well over 3,000 years. Things like
right.
that. So these are dated many years ago for what purposes, and just learning about that history is really cool too. So I love doing it. So it's wonderful I can now teach it to people as well.
As you're sharing that, the thought that kept coming up for me is, thank you for offering that, because you're sitting really on a well of knowledge, and like
Thank
who
you.
like who else to learn from? Like,
Oh,
so
thank you.
yeah. So I'm so glad.
There's so many wonderful
Oh,
teachers.
for sure, for sure.
Thank goodness. Yes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
here's one of them right in front of
Thank
me.
you. Oh.
So truly, so thank you, because that also takes effort. Everything
Mhm.
you've done, really, I mean, it's not easy. It's like creating a certification program. There's work and effort, and there's your integrity into it, and your heart into it, and you really want the best for people. So I can see like this. You didn't just put something together. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really, I can imagine how much time went into it for the
Yeah.
sake of spreading knowledge that can serve others. I really respect and
Absolutely.
admire that, like, taking the time to do that. So, so we'll put the link, and that's also on your website. It's already on your
It
website.
is.
Yeah, okay. So we'll
Absolutely.
put
Yeah.
that as well.
Mhm. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You have so many things that you offer, so that's amazing. So, you mentioned there, just I know we're almost at the end, but there's just a couple more things I want to go back to, if it's okay, because really it's
Of
stuck with
course.
me. And you mentioned your mother, and you named one of the wellness lines with her name, and I thought
Rashida Rose. Yeah.
Rashida Rose, and I thought that was just so beautiful, like honoring her and what she meant to
Mhm.
you. So she must have been deeply impactful for your life, and that's why I just wanted to name that. And I'm wondering,
Mhm.
what's still alive with you, or something about her that has
Yeah.
inspired you.
I mean, my mom was amazing. I was very blessed to have such an
Yeah.
amazing mom. Like her and our relationship was like best friends. Like I could tell her anything. It was wonderful. And she's been through so much hardship in her life, so much, and
Mm,
I'd witnessed that. And so seeing how strong of a warrior, she
mm,
was through all of that. And having the relationship I did with her and how much she taught me, um, it's all to her. I'm so grateful to my mom. I love her so much. She passed away in 2020.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was going through the grief of the loss of her.
Mm,
Was very hard.
yeah.
Very hard. Yeah, it was definitely broke me open in so many ways that I had
Mm,
no idea. Nothing had prepared me for the amount of grief that came through for
wow.
me. Nothing prepared me. And nothing I
Mm,
don't think could have. I don't know. I think that that's one of the hardest things we will
yeah, yeah.
endure. A lot of us will, like losing, our mother. My mom, she was very special to me.
Mm,
So, I feel she's very much with me today and by
yeah.
my side. I've felt her energy or grace in some way, her light guiding me to this day. I feel her presence all the time. I miss her physically so much and to be able to
Of
talk to her, but
course.
yeah, but I carry her with me every day. And when I go into sessions, I think she's one of like my angel figures and
Yeah.
guardians, and I really connect to that, and it helps me to um, work with the grief of the loss of her physical presence, because I'm like, oh, she's still
Mm,
with me, just in a different form, or
right.
whatever, energetically, but I feel
Mm,
her and I remember her all the time, and I'm like, okay, she loved roses. And Rashida Rose, 1948, it's called 1948 Rashida Rose. That was the year she was born.
yeah.
And so I think of her when I use that too. I bring her into my sessions. And so yeah, very strong relationship with my mom. And
Mm,
still today, I guess. There we go. Still
yes.
today, because I'm choosing that, right? And um, yeah, it's a beautiful way to work with grief, is knowing that they're still with us. You can speak to them, you can walk with them,
Mm,
bring them into our work.
mm,
In my case, the work I do. And
right.
she's a very positive figure in my life still in that way. So that's the only way I can get through.
Right.
Or I could just be really sad all the time. And sometimes I do. I let myself
Well, that's
feel
of
and
course,
miss
and
her
that,
and be sad. But it's
yeah.
beautiful that I can also bring it in a positive way, that she's still with me, and the
Yeah.
abundance I have in my life, the gratitude, is all thanks and due to her as well, helping me
Mm.
along the way, I think. So Yeah.
Mm. What a beautiful, heartfelt connection you have that is
Hmm.
still very alive. Is so alive in you, and how you speak. This warrior that she represented, warrior heart, but so
Yeah.
alive in you. Really is so alive in you.
Well, I
And
guess it comes back to, again, through my adversity, being the loss of my mom, I
yeah,
gained strength. So I'm going to find strength in that very hard moment.
right.
And I've helped so many other people with grief today because I've experienced it at that
Yeah,
hard level. So again, with the anxiety, depression, I've experienced it, so I get it. I know
yeah,
what that feels like, and
yeah,
it's not easy, but this is part of the human experience. And
yeah.
the more community tools we have, it's great. It's very helpful. Hmm.
Mm. But it's allowing ourselves to feel the sorrow, the deep grief, which you have. And sometimes,
Hmm.
loss is an ebb and flow process that
Yeah.
we all go through. And sometimes people think, oh, I should be complete. I grieved. It's over. I should be. No, it's going to come.
Yeah.
It's going to go. It's sometimes it actually hit me. Where are we now? Maybe 5 weeks ago or so. And I was just listening to the song that I never heard with my father. My father passed away about 10 years ago,
Mm,
and it just reminded me of how like determined he was as a being in his life. And
mm,
I was just a song that popped up. I don't know, looking through something on Facebook, and then the song popped up. I was like, oh, nice song. And I don't like we just I came back from like blueberry picking. You know what I mean? Just so it was a beautiful day. It was like weekend. Picked some blueberries. Came back,
mm,
listened to the song, and I wasn't even planning on listening. I'm like, oh, but what is this? And just tears. I was just sobbing. I was like, whoa.
mm.
It's like that really caught me off guard, but it just
Yeah,
the music, the sound, the words remind me of like how he was, what the
yeah,
qualities that I so deeply grateful for him. This courage, this determination, this
mm,
and it's like this be yourself, be who you are, be whoever, be you. And
yes,
it rocked me and it surprised me. So it really
yeah,
surprised me. And
no.
as you're sharing, it's like, yeah, grief comes and
I
goes.
and one other thing I'll mention is I think with what your story with your father too
Mm,
is like the depth of sadness is the depth of love that we
yeah,
shared or had with them, right? It's how much we loved them, and that's the depth of the sadness.
yeah.
They go hand in hand, right?
Right.
I'm this sad because I love them so much and miss them so much.
Yeah,
The depth of that love is like, wow, it's like, ooh, the grief, right? And I always just like that scar that never fully heals,
yeah,
right? It'll always be there. And again, how do I want to carry this with me on the rest of my journey, however long that will be? We
yeah.
don't know, right? I can choose to carry it like a really bad, sad, horrible experience that's keeping me way down, depressed every day,
Right.
and not wanting to move on. And there was a moment I was like, I want to be dead. My mom's gone. I don't want to
Mm,
be on this plate. I'm done. I want to get out of here. I want to go meet her
ah,
wherever she is. So it did come up for me. That was part of
right.
the grief. But then I realized I have a purpose here. She's watching me, and she always wanted more from me. Like
Mm,
her baby boy is like to see me blossom in the way. She was so proud of me. She came to my yoga studio. She lived in the UK, but when she visited, and the seldom time she did, she came to my studio and to see my mom and my yoga, and she saw that I had done pilgrimage to India. I lived in an ashram for a couple months and just really let go of everything and meditated, and she saw me do all these cool things. So I was
mm,
living like my life like through her eyes. She was like in awe, and that made me so happy that my mom was so proud of these things I was doing because she had seen
mm,
all the stuff we had gone through in my childhood, the
yeah.
dysfunction, the hardship. So to see me going to do these beautiful practices and what I did, she was so proud, and that made me really proud too.
Mm,
So yeah, definitely, the depth of the love is the depth of the sadness when it comes to our loved ones and those
mm.
people. Hmm.
When you're describing it, it's like, how can we have deep love if we're not willing to experience grief. Like we want
That's
one,
right.
we want one without the other. Like we just want the love and the good, but I don't want the other side. It's the other side of a coin. Like
Yeah.
deep love, deep joy, but also deep sorrow. That's the human experience. And
And that's why we have these practices, honestly.
right.
Being in nature, yoga, sound bath, meditation community, I wanted to create that container
Mm.
that we're going to go through hard stuff. This is life. It's always going to happen. And then what do we have that we can help balance things out? Because it can really tip the
Oh,
scales when things go sideways. But to
yeah.
know that there is some things we can do to help facilitate
Yeah.
navigating more gracefully through the experiences we're going to all endure.
Mm.
um, yeah.
Yeah, there's a steadiness to the heart. The practices give us a steadiness to the waves,
Mhm. Mhm.
steadiness to face the ups
Beautiful.
and downs. And it comes in. Sometimes the reward doesn't show up right away, but just like trusting the process of practice, whatever
Trusting.
practice someone is choosing,
Yeah,
meditation or yoga, whatever it is, it's just like giving it a
it can help.
chance. Can help.
Give it
Give
a
it a chance.
chance. It can
Yeah,
help. Yeah, why
yeah,
not? What have I got to lose?
yeah. Totally.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
my mentality, right?
Yeah,
What have I
never to
got to
lose.
lose?
Totally.
I'm gonna try
Totally.
it. It
Yeah,
might help me and it might not, but hey, if it does, a chance, great. And for me it did,
it
so
did.
I'm
Yeah.
very grateful. Mhm.
And thank you for naming that. The this deep love and connection you have with your mother, and you also named, just for those who don't know that, you named Ma Yoga because of her, the studio that you have.
Ma, yeah,
Yeah,
ma means mother in Hindi.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
to honor that. Also, it was the idea was nurture yourself like a parent does to their
Mm,
child or dog or pet. Like that self, do that for yourself. That's love, nurture, self care, because it starts within and then you can give it outward. So
mm,
that was also like what mom meant to me, as well, like that mother quality within all of us, that feminine,
beautiful.
divine mother energy, like nurture self. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
love
important.
that. I so love how you said that. It's like if we can just nurture and love ourselves the way a mother loves for a child. Like, so beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
any
so many.
parent, yeah.
Any parent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any
Any
parent, right? For
Of
the inner
course.
child, the inner child. There we
Right.
go, right?
Yes.
Loving that inner child that we all have within us, nurture
Mm.
and, yeah.
So many endless takeaways today that you shared. And I know we're at the end already. And I feel it's just like your session, your sound healing session. Like, I don't want it to end. So many, such an enjoyable conversation. And, the
Thank
last thing
you.
I want to ask you, even though you really addressed it throughout, but, the name of this podcast is Pause to Elevate.
Mm,
And when you think of pause to elevate, what pops up for you? What does it mean for you?
mm. I think just to slow down,
Mm,
finding still moments in your day, any time of day, to pause, be quiet,
mm,
unplug, um, introspection,
mm,
retreating within self brings us a greater sense of clarity, grounding,
mm,
maybe more creativity within ourselves, relaxation,
mm,
understanding. Like that pause, I think, is beautiful. How you frame it,
mm,
to elevate, because yeah, being in that quiet, still moment can really take us to new places.
mm,
We
mm,
turn off a lot of the outer world, and just take a moment to slow down. I think that there's a lot of power in that,
mm.
for elevation, openness. Yeah, absolutely. It's like meditation, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Well, thank you for the beautiful pauses and wisdom that you shared. You truly are such a heartfelt being. Like it's
thank
like
you.
not only it's
Too
like
kind.
truly not only this, we met at first actually online, our first connection, and we spoke, and I felt it. I was like, wow, what a beautiful human being. And then meeting you in person, I was like, wow, what a beautiful human being. So
Mhm.
you really are. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for staying humble, grounded, real, with such a heart for service, for such a heart for love for humanity, and the willingness to be real and raw. So thank you for who you are. It's truly a pleasure having this conversation, and I look forward to spending more time and um, getting to know you more. So thank you for your
Mm.
incredible conversation and your journey. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
you.
so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I also want to thank all the listeners. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching, thank you so much for you watching. Please help me spread the word. Share this with friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, whoever you want that can benefit from this. Let them know about it. Thank you so much. And if you've subscribed, really appreciate it. If you haven't, please do so. It helps me to keep sharing this work. Thank you, everyone. May your moments be filled with ease and may you be present in as many of them. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this content, check out what's coming up next right over here. Thank you.